Good afternoon, everybody.
Good evening, everyone.
Welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel. And here we are live on the new computer. This is pretty cool. It's a hell of a lot faster than, like, a lot faster.
Don't worry about me.
Hello.
Technical adjustments. Making little adjustments.
I see.
There we are. You have now entered SOT camera mode.
I've entered what camera mode?
SOT camera mode.
SOT camera mode? So yes, we are live on the new computer. It moves a lot freaking faster than the other one. I haven't had a Chrome not responding or, Safari not responding. I haven't had any of that bullshit since I've gotten it. So yeah, this is gonna be I don't know. We're gonna see about reading the stories. We'll see how I do that, but we will muddle through. Let me know how I sound. Let me know how everything looks. Welcome to Ghost Dog. Welcome to Seamus Derby. Welcome to Wikipedia Snippet. Yay, BP has a new confuzzler. Hey, Adamantine. Let's see. Oh, yeah? It sounded like you said a lot fasting for a moment. Oh. Yeah, no, I can't do fasting. Fasting and me, no. No good, no worky. So yeah, I am so happy with this computer. Like, I can tab around StreamYard without the computer going, eh. Like, I'm moving around the studio and everything is just I'm moving around happily. I just made a new tab to open for Twitter, and it's just boop. Everything is just, oh my god, it moves, it works, holy shit. This is amazing, you guys. Like, I can open shit and things work. This is amazing. This is fucking amazing. I'm so happy. So happy. All right, let's get to some news. There is one story that I need to save for a coffee shot. But let's see if this works here. There it is. Okay. So, this we're gonna look at for I know which video I know which story I'm gonna do for a coffee shot, but this stream or story we're gonna look at on stream, because it made it to Business Insider, which I think is really funny. So let's get back to, oh my god, I can get to back to the studio to share the stream like quickly. Holy shit, guys. This is insane how fast this moves quickly now. Share screen. Oh. Sorry, guys. How do I undim that? Ah. Sorry, guys. Okay. Sorry, guys. It needs me to allow. Oops. It needs me because it's a new computer. I need to. Oh, guys, I need to quit and reopen Chrome apparently. So give me 30 seconds because this moves really fast. I will be right back. I apologize. I told you it would be 30 seconds. Do you see how much faster this shit is? Like, I would have been gone for like 5 minutes. I would have been gone for 5 minutes on the other computer. Do you see how fast that shit was? That was that wasn't even 30 seconds, I don't think. That Satsu! Satsu, how you doing, buddy? Okay, now let's reopen my story. Because so what was wrong was it wanted me to allow access for screen sharing, and because it was a new computer, I had to go and um basically click the allow button and all that fun stuff. So, glad to hear the family's doing well, Satsu. I'm doing great, my friend. Okay, now let's get this shared. Holy shit, this is. I basically upgraded my from a fucking shitbox to a freaking. This is amazing. Okay, so let's see here. I need to find the headline here. This is Twitter says that influencers page def. Wait. Uh, oh, Twitter says that influencer news page that Def Noodles has been permanently suspended for violating its hate speech rules. This is old. It's from July. This is like super old. I had a Windows 98 machine until 2014. Good God, Wikipedia snippet. One of the reasons I've put off upgrading the computer is because I hate moving all the transfer. Yeah. Yeah, Def Noodles. I know who Def Noodles is. But it's funny that it made it to Business Insider regardless of the fact that it's from July. But yeah, it's from July. Uh that is the coffee shot one that I'm going to do tonight according to my new schedule. Okay, now we're going to read this one here. Smells like Pincalo is cooking something. Oh my god. The fastness of the computer. So I read about the volcano that erupted in Tonga last weekend. So this is from the CBC. Apparently, so the title of this headline, if I can get to it, Tonga Aquaman says he survived being swept into ocean by tsunami. Why? Was he one of the people that stayed behind the videotape where the water had gone? There were actually people. Let's see here. So, this was posted January 21st. Let's see if I can get this. Lisola Fala, a 57-year-old carpenter who has disabilities that make walking difficult, says he survived overnight in the ocean after the Tonga tsunami swept him out to sea. Wow. You survived overnight in the ocean? Holy shit. Like, disabled or not, that's pretty ridiculously cool to be able to survive in the ocean overnight. The funny thing is the snake is called a danger noodle and snakes are naturally deaf. That's funny. He's my age, a little older, says Wikipedia snippet. Oh wow. Like, I just, disabled or not, I cannot survive or imagine surviving a tsunami sweeping me anywhere, let alone lasting where I landed overnight until I could get help. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not 57. I'm 32. So like that guy is, holy crap, that guy's amazing. Okay. It's one of these miracles that happens, said acting high commissioner Peter Lund on a satellite phone from Tonga, where communications remain patchy. The story of 57-year-old Solo Follow that has fuck off. I need to turn off reminders. The story of 57-year-old Lisola Follow that has disabilities that make walking difficult has captivated people in Tonga and around the world. Some people have affectionately dubbed him Aquaman. That's kind of cool. What do you mean lame? Screw it. Okay. Close that. In a translated interview from with Tonga's Broadcom Broadcasting, Falal said he was swept out to sea at about 7 p.m. from his home and floated out for overnight before making landfall. Fucking okay, I do have to fix the dictation hotkey. So he says he made landfall after floating overnight on an uninhabited island. Oh god. From there, he said he drifted or swam another 8 hours to a second deserted island before finally swimming to the island of Tongataku, a journey that totaled 7.5 7.5 kilometers spread over 26 hours. Jesus, dude. Good on you, man. Like, the tenacity. Holy crap. Sometimes people surprise themselves when they find that hidden inner strength they didn't think they had. You know what, Wiki? You're absolutely right. But that's just incredible. Like, wow, good on him. Lund said that when he had his first briefing with Tongan government officials on Sunday, the day after the tsunami, but before Falal was found, they told him that a person was missing from the island. That's wow. Just wow. Go him. That's amazing. Like, and I don't say that just because he's disabled. That's to survive all of that and swim and like to get to 2 deserted islands before making it to the main island, right? Like, getting to the deserted islands themselves would kind of dishearten me. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it would be a place to rest, but it would also be like, shit, there's nobody here. Now I have to leave and find another island and hope that there's somebody here. That's amazing. Old timers grit, hold the dory. Spoons. Fuck you, Ryan. I hate that fucking. Oh, that's stupid metaphor. I don't have the spoons. How about I just don't have the energy? Did anyone ever figure that? Like, seriously. Like, did anyone ever just figure out using the words, I don't have the energy right now? And if anyone is gonna sit there and go, I don't know what that means, well, then they're being an ass. And then they're not worth talking to. Go away. Go away reminder. Oh, you paywalling. You better not. Oh, good. Show must go on. Journalist hit by journalist hit by a car mid-broadcast, but keeps on reporting. Damn. Now that's wow. A reporter in West Virginia is sore but okay after fuck off dictation. I need to go into system preferences and fix that. After being struck by a car during a live broadcast. God damn. That's rough. I bet he hates swimming after that. Yeah. Instagram deleted. Stupid bitch didn't have the spoons. God, I hate that metaphor. Yep. As opposed to fucking Instagram, a website so shit stupid you can't do video calls on desktop. Really? I gave her a fucking week to get the spoons.
Yeah, you got that stupid pop up. You got a pop up still.
Oh, god damn it. How do you get rid of that?
There's an X, but it's not really gettable.
Here, hold on.
Hold on. I like this voiceover now because mouse actually works with it.
Oh. Aha. Sorry. Where am I? Okay, so she got struck by a car. So Tori Yorgi, a journalist for WSAZ, was standing along the road at the scene of a water main break on Wednesday. In the clip, road crews can be seen behind her as anchor Tim Myers speaks to the reporter about her upcoming story. That's when a large white SUV hits her from behind during a live shot, as seen on video footage shared on Twitter. God. She's on the side of the road. Why would the SUV hit her? That's insane. Have a great day at work, Ghost Dog. Let's see. I haven't run across that saying before. Oh. I may not like reporters much, but this guy deserves props. Oh, it's a chick, too. It's a chick to boot. Story continues below. Oh, is there a Twitter video? Wow, this reporter gets hit by a car, then rebounds to finish the live shot.
On the 3's Tori Yorkie joins us now live in Dunbar. And Tori, they're not seeing any flakes, but wet roads. And now we're starting to experience, unfortunately, in freeze thaw, we see this
happens.
Water main breaks.
What happened? Oh my god!
Oh my gosh, I just got hit by a car, but I'm okay. I just got hit by a car, but I'm okay, Tim.
That's the first for you on
okay.
TV, Tori.
Woo! We're all good. Are you okay? I'm okay. Yeah, you know, that's live TV for you. It's all good. I actually got hit by a car in college, too, just like that.
Wow.
I am so glad I'm okay.
Yeah.
You're okay. You're okay. We're all good. This is you know what? It's one
sure
woman
you're
band.
okay, Tori?
We're good, Tim. Man,
sure
you
okay?
are so sweet and you are okay. It is all good. You know, oh Lord.
So you
know, it's my last week on the job, and I think this would happen.
So you were bumped
specifically to me, Tim.
Were you bumped down low, Tori, or were you hit up high? I couldn't really tell from the looking.
I don't even. Do you know if I was bumped down, low, or up high, sir?
I just saw you disappear.
I don't even
out of the
know.
trees.
I don't even know, Tim.
Poor girl.
My whole life just flashed
woman
before
is,
my
like,
eyes.
freaking
But
out.
this is live TV and everything's okay. I thought I was in a safe spot, but clearly we might need to move the camera
where's the
over a
stop
bit.
button?
So let me do that while I'm
You're
thinking of
in.
it.
Now, just to set the stage
you
for
know?
you once again, Tori's in an area right now where there's been a water main break, so there are emergency
Where's
vehicles
the
around
stop
there.
button?
And a lot of times what we have seen
Okay,
in those kind of
anyway.
situations are
So
when emergency vehicles are around, there's a lot of confusion.
she got hit by a car, and you can tell, like, she's hurt. And I've been there. Like, that's adrenaline. That's adrenaline right there. She's like, when I got hit by the car in 2012, I basically did the exact same. Like, I got hit and I popped up and I'm like, I'm okay. And like, I was like that for about 2 hours, and then I was hurt. And like, in my accident, I was like, it was the car, I got actually hit by a car that was hit by a car. The car that hit me was actually stationary at the red light doing what it was supposed to do, and the car that hit it came from behind, wasn't paying attention, and hit the car at about 60 kilometers an hour, which is about, I think it's about 35 or 40 miles an hour. So it was enough to push the car into me, and thank God there was a car in between me and that fast car, because I probably would have been dead. But yeah, I know exactly what that is. She popped up. That's adrenaline. That is all adrenaline right there. And that woman is probably feeling really stupid right now. You're gonna have soiled underwear. She's an adrenaline junkie. She's high as fuck on adrenaline. Let's see. It's ridiculous. Like, that yeah, the endorphins. That's what she's got. And the other woman probably feels ridiculous for hitting her, because like, you've got the emergency crews, you've got the cameras, right? And then, like, I don't know how you could miss that. I really don't. I'm not entirely sure how you could miss a news broadcast, like a live news broadcast happening, and a reporter standing there. Like, what was she doing that had her attention distracted and had her not able to notice the lady with the cameras and the microphones in front of the road crew? Like, and the reporter was super gracious about the lady that hit her. Like, she could have roasted the shit out of her. Do you know what I mean? The reporter could have been like, this is the lady that hit me, this is her license plate. You know what I mean? Like, she's got more grace than I do, that's for sure. Star Trek TOS Adrenaline Gym. Ooh. You want to see what's going to go up on my wall? You want to see? See? I'm not opening it, but they're going up on my wall. So, I've got that. And I've got this. A Kirk and a Gorn. Because I don't have any Star Trek stuff. So I need some. Yeah. There we go. She had a flashback to the 90s and thought she was at a rave. Collectibles. Yep. Definitely collectibles. Okay. Let's get to this headline here. Where's the headline? Here it is. Okay. Trudeau vows action after 4 freeze to death in mind-blowing tragedy. Oh, he vows tragedy. Or he vows action, does he? I said he vows tragedy. That was a Freudian slip, I think. Okay, so we've got a picture here of snowed-in vehicles. Or snow in vehicles. As a family crossed, like, apparently a family crossed the border. Let's see here. Ottawa, Canada is doing all it can to stop people smuggling across the US border after a family of 4 froze to death in a mind-blowing tragedy, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said on Friday. No. If you're going to come to the country, you need to come here properly and not try to sneak in, especially through fucking Manitoba. Do a little bit of research about the country you're going to try to sneak into. Perhaps. You know, I'm just saying. Are you rolling? No, but the car was. That's awesome. That's hilarious. I love it. Okay. Let's see. U.S. authorities have charged a U.S. man with human trafficking after the 4, a man, woman, baby, and teenager, were found dead in the province of Manitoba after a few hundred yards in from the frontier with Minnesota. That's sad. The 4 have tentatively been identified as a family from India, part of a larger group traveling from the U.S. Wow. Traveling, get this. Traveling, trying to enter the United States by walking through snow-covered fields, remote snow-covered fields in blizzard-like conditions. It was an absolutely mind-blowing story. It's so tragic to see a family die like that, victims of human traffickers and a desire to build a better life, Trudeau told the news conference. Yeah, that is sad, but you should also be doing things legally. I'm sorry. Like, regardless of where you come from, you need to be trying to get into the country legally. This is why we are doing all we can to discourage. This is why we are doing all we can to discourage people from crossing the border in an irregular or illicit manner. Dude, just say the way it is. Illegally. Stop trying to cross the border illegally. It's not going to end well for you. If people who sneak people in from the Mexico into the U.S. are coyotes, are people that help people sneak into Canada timberwolves? Wiki, you are on fire today, man. Official for town and oh, that's a video. Emerson Franklin Reeve David Carlson says illegal border crossings have gone down in recent years, so he was surprised to hear of the deaths. The RCMP say 2 adults, a teen, and a baby likely froze to death while trying to cross the border. Authorities have charged a U.S. man with human trafficking in the case. That's horrible. The 4 people died about 6 miles, 4 kilometers east of Emerson. The 4 people died about 6 miles or 10 kilometers east of Emerson, a small farming community. David Carlson, head of a local municipal council, said there was no shelter at all in the area. It would almost be like a lunar type landscape, and you can become lost or disoriented very quickly in those conditions, especially if you're beginning to freeze. Yeah. Absolutely. That's really sad. Emerson said the incident was unusual, as in the past, people have tried to cross into Canada from the United States rather than the other way around. Yeah. Yeah. I don't get it. Just try to you need to do things legally, guys. You need to do things legally, and you need to not trust the strange man that makes you want to pay lots and lots of money to get into the country. Okay? That's never a good idea. Babies are particularly vulnerable to cold. Yes. They are. Alrighty. Next item. I love how fast this is. This is awesome. All right. So, this one is also from the Toronto Sun. Let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to find the article headline here. All right. Quebec car dealers say vaccine passport rules will cause unfair competition for large dealerships. Yeah. The requirement is extended to all stores with surface areas of 1,500 square meters or more, with the exception of groceries and pharmacies, as of January 24th. So 1,500 square meters, there are about 3 feet to 1 meter. So how many square feet is 1,500 square meters?
1,500 square meters is 16,145.87 square feet.
So yeah, any place that is 16,100 square feet or more. Yeah. So that's pretty ridiculous. Let's see. Quebecers must show proof of vaccination before they can enter restaurants, gyms, bars, liquor and cannabis stores, and as of next week, big box stores and car dealerships. Wow. The Legault government extended the passport requirement. The Legault government extended the vaccine passport requirements to all stores with surface areas of 1,500 square meters or more, with exception of groceries and pharmacies as of January 24th. This was posted on Friday. At first, Robert Cody thought this would not apply to his members, nearly 900 car dealerships across Quebec. But looking at the fine print of the government's decree, he realized, or he says he was surprised to see that areas such as conference rooms, locker rooms, cafeterias, and warehouses can be deducted from the 1,500 square meters. What? Of course, some of our dealers have larger premises, but it's nothing compared to the number of people who can enter Canadian Tire, Costco, or Walmart, said Pody, the owner and CEO of, or president of CEO of the corporation CCA2 in an interview. I'm not even going to try to do the French. Yeah, because voiceover has, yeah. There's no exception, however, for mechanical workshops where cars are cleaned and repaired. Those workshops, which are off limits to the public, which will also have to be included in the car dealerships' calculations on whether they will have to ask for proof of vaccination. That's stupid. One square meter is approximately 10 square feet. A little more. Yeah. Because it's 39 inches, I think, in a meter. And there's 36 inches to a foot, I believe. So 39 times 3. Yeah. That makes sense. We never thought they were going to count the entire surface of the buildings, but only where people have access. So we were asking the government, so we were asking the government to, or we are asking the government to review its criteria, because as of now, we are about to see some unfair competition. Smaller dealers won't have to ask for it, said Pody. So what? There will be people that will go to your business. There will be people that won't. There will also be people that won't go to the business of the people that don't ask for proof. Like, what's the big deal? I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm not a business person, but I think Quebec's vaccine passport requirements are ridiculous. But that argument is not a valid one, I think. I think arguing that you're giving smaller businesses an unfair advantage is kind of like, you literally just said, you basically just came out and said, I'm a big box car dealership and fuck the small guy. I want him to be just as fucked as me. Is basically what you said. You said, I don't care about small business. I don't care about local things. I want everybody, even the people with like 5 employees to a car dealership and like a dinky little office and like maybe 10 cars on the lot at a time, I think they should have to follow the same requirements as me because I'm salty. Like, that's fucked up, dude. I don't agree with that at all. I like, and I don't agree with the vaccine mandates at all. Like, I'm pro-vaccine, but I don't agree with the mandates, right? But that argument that I don't like that argument. I find that argument kind of gross. if that makes sense. I mean, I know you businessmen are in business to make money, but to literally say, I think that employees and or I think that businesses with smaller premises and smaller staff capacities and therefore smaller also smaller inventories, which will therefore limit the people that will come there anyway, because you automatically have a better selection, right? You still have that going for you. Why would you say, I basically come out and say I think small businesses should get just as fucked as me? That's stupid. That is a stupid move as a business person to me. Like, I'm totally not a business person, but that just seems dumb. Let's see. What's chat saying? 10 is easier to do in your head. Yeah. I bet. I suck at math. I really do. So, yeah, I ask Siri or something. Oh my god, this is amazing. I cannot wait to try and see, like, how OBS works with this. All right, this is a National Post article. The last 3 were from the Toronto Sun. All right, Dr. David Jacobs. Omicron has filled up my hospital, but the panic from the Delta wave is gone. The message is painfully clear. Omicron is a pandemic of the unvaccinated. Please get vaccinated. Since when? The stats show that it's under 50% of people in the hospitals are. Oh, I better be careful. I better be careful. I might get a strike on my channel for medical misinformation if I'm not careful with what I say. Oh. Okay. Faced with the constant barrage of hyperbolic headlines, social media posts, and punditry, the public has become immune to bad news, accustomed to low levels of panic, and justifiably suspicious of any predictions, good or bad. The best way to untangle the web of sensationalism is to take a peek inside of hospitals to see what's really happening. Let me be your guide, says Dr. Jacobs.
Almost there. 1:50 p.m. Almost there. Keep moving for 1 minute to make progress toward your stand goal. Dismiss button.
Well, I'm busy right now. I can't keep moving. As a radiologist in Humber River Hospital, a larger than general hospital. Wait. A large urban general hospital in Toronto. I've had a bird's eye view of the entire pandemic. Seeing the imaging of patients from when they walk through our doors in emergency to when they are unfortunate enough to require critical care. Every picture tells a story, and the story of Omicron has been unlike any of the waves that have come before. Okay. At the beginning of every wave, the emergency department has always taken the brunt of the assault. During the Delta wave, multiple patients would be rushed in, requiring immediate intubation. Right from the start of the Omicron wave, things were decidedly different. The volume of patients was enormous, but the panic of Delta was the panic of Delta was lacking. Let's see. The volume of patients was enormous, but the panic of Delta was absent. Very few of the large number of patients coming to emergency had been seriously ill. They were both seeking a PCR test because of contact with the case, upper respiratory infections with the flu-like symptoms. They were all vaccinated. Basically, there was a lot of vaccinated people, but there was a really bad case of pneumonia in an unvaccinated patient. Most of the patients desperately ill with hypoxia, a lack of oxygen in the blood, were unvaccinated. 60 years and older, obese, diabetic, and hypertensive. Sadly, joining their ranks were the elderly that had 2 doses of the vaccine almost a year ago and had not received a booster. But the most tragic were the fully vaccinated but immunosuppressed, either due to chemotherapy or other treatments. This is a pandemic of the unvaccinated, the undervaccinated, and the immunosuppressed. So basically, it's a mutation of the virus that is doing what a virus does, because viruses mutate, and we need to make sure that we are continuing to develop our vaccination efforts. Unlike Delta, there are few direct admissions to the ICU. Omicron patients tend to go first through the wards. The largest group of symptomatic patients on the wards are fully vaccinated with pneumonia. Okay. So the largest group of symptomatic COVID patients on the wards are fully vaccinated of all ages with pneumonia. They have brief stays and are released when their oxygen saturation returns to normal. Okay. So they're basically pneumonia with but fully vaccinated. Close behind them in terms of numbers are unvaccinated patients of all ages. The unvaccinated patients are grossly overrepresented when compared to the number of general population considered. They tend to have a much longer stay than their vaccinated peers. Those who go to the ICU are the unlucky few whose disease progresses. So, again, this is showing that Omicron is another mutation, just like viruses do. And like, there's not going to be much you can do. For people who are going to be vaccinated, like, the symptoms are going to be there but lessened. For those who are unvaccinated and choose not to get vaccinated, well, like, that's just what's going to happen. Like, this is what happened. This is now what's normal. And COVID is just going to be part of the endemic virus population. So we need to stop with the freaking out, and we just need to get back to normal and take care of the people who need to be taken care of, and let the people who are vaccinated or well immune, like, take care of themselves. And if they have to take care of need hospital, then they go to the hospital, and we take care of those people that need taken care of. Like, many of the frail elderly on the wards choose not to seek care in the ICU and unfortunately succumb to the virus. Among those who do agree to receive care in the ICU, vaccinated patients rarely require intubation and usually rally, but the unvaccinated, and immunosuppressed basically are different. They require intubation. It's it's a lot worse for them. The message is painfully clear. Omicron is the pandemic of the unvaccinated. Please get vaccinated. No, it's how about just please do what's best for you? Okay, that's the message. Please do what's best for you. That's the message. I don't know what else to say about that. Okay. Last article. Alrighty. I love how fast this is. I know I keep saying that, but just, it's awesome. Okay. So this is an opinion piece from the National Post from John Iveson. Back to the Future over fears of inflation and Russian invasion. Not wrong. Plus, do we see a glimmer of hope on the COVID front? Don't get too crazy. Okay. Let's see. Join columnist John Iverson and guest Marcella Monroe and Andrew Belfort to lash about the week's political follies. Oh, is this not a John, Andrew, and Marcella discuss whether Canada is doing enough to deter Vladimir Putin's aggressive moves in the Ukraine, and whether the Trudeau government is getting the blame for rising prices. You know what? I'm probably not going to get hit for this. How long is this? How long is this video? 0 minutes, 2 minutes. Okay.
deeply troubling, and it's deeply troubling again. I'm not sure that it has resonated with the public the same way that it did then.
Here.
But, we have Biden saying that he thinks Putin and the Russians are going to move into Ukraine. Justin Trudeau yesterday said that he thinks Putin is looking for an excuse. He says that we are standing shoulder to shoulder with the Ukrainians. We will be there to continue supporting the people of Ukraine, although he has not
like we are for the Uyghurs, right?
Be as far as sending weapons. Certainly, it does not look like we're going to send troops. Meanwhile, the government House leader, Mark Holland, has said that we will have an emergency debate on the subject when the House resumes, by which time, obviously, Ukraine could be called Putinistan. So, a troubling...
Seriously, like he is with the frickin' Uyghurs, right? He's going to stand shoulder to shoulder with the Uyghurs against China? Yeah, okay.
Situation, Marcella, do you think Canada's doing all that it could do?
No.
It doesn't feel that way right now. Canada's in a very unusual position in some ways because, of course, our country is home to the third largest population of Ukrainian descendants in the world, right after Ukraine and Russia itself.
We really are. Like, we had a massive influx of Ukrainian immigrants and refugees during the late 1800s and then during the Bolshevik revolutions. A lot of Ukrainian Mennonites came over in like the 1917, 1918 type of Bolshevik revolution. So we have a huge Ukrainian population here.
Right. So there's a lot of Canadians, myself included. I'm a quarter Ukrainian on my mother's side. And so there's a lot of us that have a personal feeling about these issues, even if we're several generations removed, you still know about your heritage. And so it's hard to watch this from afar. And I think there's domestic politics on it. As I said, there's a large Ukrainian descendant community in Canada that will want to see real evidence that Canada is standing strongly with Ukraine. So I think it was wise to send the foreign minister over there. But for sure, you already see the Ukrainian Canadian Congress has been pushing for the federal government to send, armaments or some more significant show of military support.
We're not going to do that. Trudeau will not do that because that's not what he's about. When it comes time to actually look tough, Trudeau does not do that. Trudeau talks a good game, but that's about it. He doesn't actually, and he doesn't even talk a good game. He tries to talk a good game, but ends up sounding like the deadbeat weekend dad that you never see unless he's got Christmas presents for you. And then he tries to tell you need to do your homework. And you're like, fuck off, Dad. You know what I mean? Like, that's what Trudeau is. There is no getting tough on things for Trudeau anywhere.
But I think we're also in a real dilemma here, right? Because a lot of what's going on here is that Putin is doing this for his internal domestic needs. Most Russians, even the ones that aren't super nationalist, think of Ukraine, and this has been a problem for hundreds of years, as just an extension and don't understand. So when they see a country like Ukraine that basically has had a pretty, much more open, democratic society for the last few years, been doing well economically, and Putin continues to say he needs this kind of strict authoritarian measures to run the country, he's kind of got to make a case that Ukraine, needs him to help fix it, because otherwise it weakens his own position internally. So it's very...
Yeah, he needs to convince his citizens that the Ukraine is broken. And he also needs to play on that thought process that the Ukraine is just an extension of Russia. So I don't know if that's going to be successful or not.
It's a very complicated issue for sure.
Yeah. Andrew, I was writing this week about expressing the feelings of senior soldiers and retired generals that I've spoken to. And they maintain that the public is not really interested in national security, and because it doesn't shift votes, neither is the government, except when we're at war. We were unprepared for the pandemic, despite the warnings. You think we're unprepared for going to war too?
Oh my God. Not only okay, we're in the weirdest position right now because I'm gonna borrow a leaf from Pincalo's book, and I'm gonna say we need a war. We actually need a war to teach some of these morons what real trauma looks like, right? To teach people how good we have it, right? We almost need a war, but at the same time, we are woefully unprepared for one, because the people that we would have to send, all of our young people, well, not all of our young people, but a good deal of our young people are these entitled, soft, don't yell at me, words are more hurtful than actual projectiles fired from guns. We are also in a strange position, Pincalo says, because we are about 10,000 troops short of our minimum troop standards. Ah, that I was unaware of. That is a bad position to be in.
I think that if you look at it from the perspective of what you're saying, the people in the forces seem to certainly believe that we aren't prepared for things, that we don't spend enough money on, whether it be ships or jets or just regular, our commitment over there right now is things like night goggles and small little tidbits here and there. I think that we've often just got used to relying on the Americans to protect us out of these things,
and that's not good. We shouldn't have to rely on another country to provide us with bulletproof vests and night vision goggles and headgear and that's bullshit. We shouldn't have to do that.
We've always taken a different tack where we do peacekeeping and we do training, and a lot of the stuff we're doing right now in Ukraine is around the training.
Providing ourselves with protection.
I don't know the sector well enough to say whether we do or we don't, but we used to get chided by Trump about not meeting our NATO commitment. So, if that's a metric that you use to look at this, then maybe we should be doing more to support the forces.
On that front, to be fair to the government, the share of GDP devoted to defence spending has increased, I think, from 1.1% when the Liberals came in to 1.4%.
No, that's a good point. Nobody wants to re-up because of Afghanistan.
It's not as if the Liberals have starved the military with cash, although
totally understandable.
That's not enough. What I think is fair, though, is that the government hasn't provided any direction.
That is the best point ever, Mr. Iveson. The government hasn't provided any direction in anything. COVID, military stuff, foreign policy issues, just inflation issues, just everything. There's no direction.
Even in the Strong, Secure and Engaged document in 2017, we're still doing all things for all people. It's money spread very thinly. We have 540 troops in Latvia. We have 200 in Ukraine. Nobody's satisfied with what we're doing, particularly anywhere. And as it was expressed to me by some people who know the sector far better than I do, we should be specializing in something. And it seems obvious, given the context, that something we should be specializing is protecting our own north.
I would agree with that. But the minute you say something like that, you're a racist and a Nazi and everything else, because immediately wanting to protect and defend yourself means that you are a bad person. Because apparently being a good person means that you should be a doormat and let people abuse you and take advantage of you and walk all over you. And whether you're a nation or an individual, I think that's crap. See, he's talking about how Trump gave us shit, and how he doesn't. He's talking about how Trump gave us shit and how he doesn't know for a fact whether we have this protection. Yeah. But we don't have that bullshit thing. We have our own supplies, and all of our troops are perfectly capable of defending our borders. So these people don't really know what they're talking about, is what you're saying. Would you say that these guys don't really know, like, what they're really talking about?
Where we have signed a deal with the Americans that we're going to upgrade this Northwest radar system, although there's been no money allocated to it. We've been dithering on the subject of drones, which would seem to be a very good thing to patrol our vast north. We've been dithering on that for 15 years. I remember writing about it 15 years ago. And, I think if Canada was to do more, it's probably not sending more soldiers to Europe. It is shoring up the northern expanse of our continent, something the Americans would be very grateful for, I would expect.
Well, NORAD modernization would be done in partnership with the Americans, and I would bet that if the Russians do attack Ukraine and we get onto a footing like that, that the speed at which NORAD modernization will move will
boy. If Russia actually invaded the Ukraine, the amount of money that would go immediately into both Canada and American departments of defense, specifically to NORAD, would be staggering. You think they'd be printing money now? Oh boy. Just wait. Just wait.
Quickly.
Well, and I think that's a real challenge, right? Because what's at stake here, and so what the badminton ball is that's being tossed around is that the Russians are claiming that we're on some rapid track to allow Ukraine to join NATO. Most experts say that's not likely for even another 10 years. There's NATO countries like Hungary, for example, that aren't keen to do that anyway. And so it's kind of a red herring. But on the other hand, Russia's in a much more powerful economic position because when they tried this stunt in 2014, 2015, Europe wasn't as needy for their energy resources as they are right now in the middle of winter. And so you've got France and Germany who are kind of giving the side eye to the idea that we'd introduce economic sanctions because they don't want to turn off natural gas supply. So all that being said, I mean, Canada, to your point about NORAD and what Russia will look to next if this incursion is somehow not pushed back, it does behoove Canada, I think, to be a little bit more participatory in what's going on in Ukraine.
Yeah.
But see, Trudeau believes that to be defensive of oneself is to be racist and bigoted. So what Trudeau's going to want to do is what he always does, which is smack talk in the House of Commons about how badly Putin is treating the Ukrainian people, just like he smack talked the Chinese for a little bit and then stopped when they, when they said something about the natives in Canada, he stopped. But he did actually say something about the Uyghur genocide. But what he's going to do is he's going to try to fence post. You asked if I was wondering whether or not these people know anything. She just said badminton ball. Yeah, I know. Let that sink in. Yeah. Yeah, she did. She did say badminton ball.
Yeah, and to your point, it staggers me that the Germans turned off their nuclear power stations and made themselves even more beholden to Putin to get natural gas through this new pipeline. Anyway, let's move on to the other spectre stuck in the land from the 70s, inflation. I mean, it's clear this is an international phenomenon that the US saw inflation rise by 7% in December. We were at 4.8%, which was still a 30-year high.
Yep.
The Bank of Canada meets next week, may raise rates then. Scotiabank is predicting 2% increases in interest rates this year, which would likely take the prime rate that the banks charge to over 4%.
God damn.
At the same time, everybody's paying more for everything. Marcella, do you think this is resonating with the average person? If it is are they blaming the government yet?
Like they should be. They fucking should be.
I think the average person knows that the costs for some of the items that they need are going up. I don't know that most Canadians pay close attention to macroeconomic policy and how the Bank of Canada plays into all of that. I think what was interesting to me in the last few days anyway is that the various economists at the major banks are divided right now about what to do. And so the challenge is that with the Omicron variant kind of having set back, especially in major places like Ontario and Quebec, the ability of the economy to keep coming out of, to keep recovering. And would an interest rate adjustment this early on in that piece of the recovery do more harm than good? And so, that's why all these there's no one mind. Like usually the bank economists tend to get quite aligned on some of these questions when it comes to macro policy right now.
So they're basically all arguing with each other. They can't figure out what to do. That's wonderful. Why have I said we're not buying a house for a couple of years right now? Prime is like 0.25%. Yeah. Well, even the guy at the bank was like, yeah, houses is not an option right now. Not an option right now.
Now they're kind of half and half. And then you have the head of the European Bank. She said, she basically said in the last 24 hours that they wouldn't. The EU Central Bank isn't going to look at interest rate increases in the near term because she still sticks to her guns and says it's going to taper off by the end of the year in a natural way as the economy recovers. So,
okay. Yeah. The inflation's going to taper off by the end of the year as we continue to print more money.
I think the opinion worldwide is divided, at least in the West, and that's a challenge.
Andrew, looking at the domestic political implications, Pierre Poilievre, the Conservative finance critic, he blames Justin Trudeau, uses this cartoonish phrase, just inflation. He refutes the argument that the supply chains are the problem, and he points out that prices are rising on things like chicken and natural gas, which are domestically sourced. I'm guessing you don't agree with him.
Well, we all know what he's saying is 100% just based on politics. And to try and say that the global supply chain doesn't have an effect on everything else. And when we look around the world, we see, much like you just pointed out, that the United States has a much higher rate of inflation than we do. It's hard for him to be able to blame this on the prime minister or the people running the various ministries in our country.
Okay, but they are partly to blame, dude. They are partly to blame for what's happening here. There are a lots of I've been on the phone with Pink Hollow when he's gone shopping in multiple different types of stores. The shelves here are not empty. The people that are protesting, like the truckers and stuff that are protesting, seem to be the ones that have to cross the border, right? There are things that the Trudeau government is doing wrong that are driving up inflation here. So to say that Poilievre is 100% based on politics is a little bit disingenuous. To say that he's not at all based on politics is also disingenuous because he's a politician. Of course his arguments have a basis in politics, right? He's a politician. What do you expect? But I think to say that there is no validity to his argument that the Trudeau government has any accountability for the inflation that's happening here, I think that's a bit biased.
Country. I would think also that, given that the Bank of Canada is, its own standalone institution, and one of its primary jobs is to monitor inflation and control it, that next week when they meet, that it'll most likely be a rate increase. It would be, but it would probably only be a quarter. And then we'll see every time they meet, they might do it a quarter here and there. And then, so if that does control inflation, then does Pierre Poilievre have to blame himself at this point in time?
Well,
that makes no sense. So if the Bank of Canada adjusts the rates, and the Bank of Canada is an individual standalone institution that helps control inflation, and adjusting the rates helps control inflation, then Pierre Poilievre should blame himself for inflation. What? Huh? I'm confused. I'm very confused. I mean, if the Bank of Canada is going to adjust the interest rates, if that does help control inflation, that's awesome. But then you've also got the other piece of the Liberal government printing money hand over fist to just pump into the economy, which is going to cause inflation, which is going to require more Bank of Canada interest rate increases. So, this guy is dumb.
I think clearly you're right. What he's saying is political, and clearly when you talk about chicken prices rising, it must have be somehow related to the supply management cartel. Natural gas prices rose considerably because we had a cold weather snap in Alberta. Baked goods rose because we had a drought in the prairies last summer. But one thing I think he actually has a point.
And there are people talking about the effects of climate change on this problem as well. So that's
it's a real thing.
We should ask Pierre and his colleagues if climate change is real. We can do that.
Well, but here's somewhere.
Also, do they not like rising natural gas and oil prices? Because I feel like a lot of their base in Alberta thinks it's wonderful.
Are you guys just that stupid? Do you guys not I understand that there's not everything that I agree with the conservative platform, right? But do you not understand that most of the conservative base is blue collar and working class and can't afford rising gas prices, and they don't want oh my gosh, you guys are fucking stupid. Holy shit. Wow. Okay. I think I've reached my limit. I think I've reached my limit. Let's give it a couple more seconds.
Now we've put the boots to Pierre. Let me defend him to this extent. When he talks about Trudeau's spending making things worse, and the Parliamentary Budget Officer came out with a report yesterday he pointed out that the government has spent $542 billion since the start of the pandemic, a third of which was not COVID related, which clearly induces more money to chase fewer goods, contributing to inflation. Now, Yves Giraud said that there is no need for more stimulus spending, even though the government has signaled that it will let the taps gush in its budget again, because it's got $50 billion of election commitments still to honour.
Yeah.
The only thing I guess that might constrain the Prime Minister is that doing so would potentially violate his only fiscal anchor, which is the debt to GDP ratio,
Yeah.
which he said will go down, and that amount of spending would probably send it upwards. But there have been no consequences to this government breaking its fiscal promises. And I think, like the military, people just don't care until at some point they do. Andrew?
Well, I'm just shocked that you even admit that this government has a fiscal anchor. No, and that's true, that we are tied to debt to GDP. And I think that that's the most reasonable thing to be looking at, particularly in a time like this.
Which is what Polyev is looking at. That's how he bases his calculations. Smoke and mirrors. You're going to need a palate cleanser, blind press. Yeah. Fuck, man. This guy, the Andrew and the Marshala, they are very disingenuous. Like, at least John Iveson tries to play devil's advocate here, but holy car, like, and the fact that they don't even understand that Pierre Polyev looks at the debt to GDP ratio when he's making his calculations and like doing his talks. I just, Jesus Christ. That's insane. All right. Well, my friends, you have reached the end of the very first coffee stream with the new computer. I hope you enjoyed it. Come back on Wednesday for Wednesdays with Skep. And this Saturday, it'll be Star Trek stream, Weakest Men, Strongest Women. And also, don't forget, the next Monday, the 31st of January, not the 1st of February, but the 31st of January is going to be the 500th coffee stream. So if you would like to be a guest or a co-host, be sure to tune in for that. Co-hosts get the link before the stream goes live. I have Blind Ryan and Skep Talk already joining me, and I'm looking for one more, and that will leave open another 6 spots for people to come in and out. So keep that in mind. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you guys on Wednesday. Remember, tomorrow's coffee shots coming at 8 a.m. Bye, guys.